Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show here for Friday night, April 24th, 2015. And tonight we're going to be talking about several eBay issues, including but not limited to the global shipping program. We're going to talk more about last week's SEO video, which prompted a lot of interest. We're going to talk about some eBay webinars that are coming up and some other eBay topics that are very timely. For those of you guys who do not know me, I am eBay Motors seller Hubcap Joe's. I've been on eBay since 1999. I'm a top-rated seller, a top-rated plus seller with 100% feedback. Those are my qualifications, and each week I come out here and I try and help you guys increase your sales on eBay. So let's get started. Last week I told you how eBay sales seem to be slower than usual, and many of you guys, in fact most of you guys, agreed with me, with I think the exception of one person. And this week sales, I would still consider them slow. However, they're slow but steady, if that means anything. I mean, I consistently get 2 or 3 a day, but to me that's nothing. I should be getting way more than that. And this goes back to the problem we talked about last week with the problem with the search words for your eBay stores. I read all your comments and I got quite a few PMs, and I think 100%, I think every one of you good people agreed with me that when you checked your eBay store's keywords, they were all messed up. So they need to be fixed. But keep in mind, guys, that when you do fix them, it's not going to help your sales overnight. I have been told that Google crawls the eBay store keywords every 30 days. So it could take up to a month before you see a noticeable improvement. And we'll keep talking about that as the time goes on, and hopefully that'll work out for you. As far as SEO is concerned, last week I told you about a webinar that I attended given by John Lawson and Gladys Ramos. I myself am not an SEO expert, nor do I claim to be. That's why I defer to those who know to go for that information. Now, last week I told you about a webinar that I had attended. However, that webinar unfortunately had some technical problems in it. I think the first 7 minutes were cut off, and I said I would try and connect you guys with a link to that webinar. I was unable to because John Lawson was unable to upload it to YouTube. There were too many technical problems. And when I said that I was going to upload the link, had, in theory, I been able to do it, only those people who attended the original webinar would actually have been able to view it, because John was going to upload it as a private video. I didn't make that clear, and I also didn't make it clear, I don't think, that the original webinar had a charge of $7, which I thought was a bargain. But I received a letter from one person moaning and groaning that she spent $7 on a webinar and thought everybody else was going to get the information for free. But that was not the case, folks. I think the $7 was very well spent. And if I can share any of the information that I gleaned from Gladys and John with you guys who didn't see the webinar, I will be glad to do it. Because that's what this channel is about. People helping people. eBay sellers helping other eBay sellers. I want every one of you to be a success on eBay. Now, continuing with the webinars, get out your calendars, folks. There are 2 webinars coming up. In sequence, the first one is going to be April 29th, which is this upcoming Wednesday. It'll be at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, and it's again going to be given by John Lawson and Gladys Ramos. This will be a little different from the last one in that it's going to be an expanded webinar and an in-depth and more hands-on. The last webinar that was $7 lasted 1 hour, okay? maybe a little over an hour. They're telling me this one's going to be over 2 hours. Okay? The price is going to be more money too. But there's the old saying, guys. You get what you pay for. Now, you're probably thinking, Joe, what makes John Lawson and Gladys Ramos experts? Well, I'll tell you what makes them experts. If you view their videos, you'll see these two good people have put a lot of time and research into SEO, and they've shared some good facts with us. Number two, both John and Gladys are eBay sellers. You're free to check out their stores anytime you want, maybe buy something from them. This is what differentiates them from other people you'll see either on YouTube or elsewhere that claim to be SEO experts. I checked the videos of some of these quote-unquote SEO experts, and you know what? They don't even have eBay accounts. They've been booted from eBay. So I guess they're not such SEO experts, are they? But again, guys, go with somebody you trust. I can tell you to your face that I trust Gladys Ramos and John Lawson. Now, there is some conflicting information that's coming out. And I want to touch on one item right now that was cleared up on the webinar the other day involving bullet points in your listings. I have heard Griff on eBay Radio many times say, do not use bullet points in your listings because it messes up the Google search. So when John Lawson was speaking the other night, he said that he recommends using bullet points. Quite a few people in the chat room immediately started saying, hey, hold up, something's not right. We know for a fact that Griff said do not use bullet points. What should we do? And then John Lawson clarified it. He said, okay, you can use bullet points, but it has to be formatted through HTML. You can use bullet points using HTML code. John Lawson's exact words, and I'm not kidding. I couldn't make this up. You guys can go back. Those of you guys who were in the video, those of you guys who subscribed to the webinar can go back and see it. He said, search engine journal, break up chunky text. I'm not kidding. Break up chunky text. That's what he's trying to say. Now, is it worth putting bullet points in your listings, guys? I'll tell you right now, I don't have them. If any of you guys use bullet points through HTML and you find it's helping out, please comment below. I'd like to know about that. But at this point, I'm not using them. It seems like it's an extra effort to go through. But if some of you guys really feel that they are helpful, please comment below and share that with us. If you want to learn more about John Lawson and Gladys Ramos's webinar that's coming up this Wednesday the 29th, you can go to johnlawson.com/eBay store class. I will put a link below so you don't have to remember all that. You can click on it, and if you think it's something you want to do, go. I have registered already, okay? And so have a lot of my friends in the Facebook groups. But again, think about it, guys. If you make one decent sale from the help this webinar gives you, it'll pay for the class. You get what you pay for. All right, next webinar. This one is given by eBay, and it will be on Wednesday, May 6th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 11 o'clock California time. And it's titled, The Smart Strategies of Successful Sellers. Kind of sounds like a Perry Mason episode, doesn't it? That is a free webinar. It is given by eBay, but you must register. If you don't know how to register, very simple. Go to your My eBay, go to your My Messages, go to the seller newsletter that eBay sent out to you about 3 or 4 days ago, and scroll down to the bottom right where it says like calendar of events, and just click on the webinar and you can register right there. I definitely recommend that as well. Okay? Please. It doesn't hurt. Let's hear what they've got to say. I'm sure it can be helpful. I love when they put these freebie webinars out. Speaking of the eBay newsletter, what was your percentage of mobile sales? Mine was 29%, which is maybe slightly higher than the last one. I don't do very much with mobile sales. I don't know why. I think possibly because a lot of my customers are older. But I'm just taking a guess. What was your percentage of mobile sales? If you want to share it below, that would be great. Somebody had contacted me through a PM during the week and said that they heard eBay was no longer going to allow restocking fees. I have searched all over and I cannot find anything to confirm that. If you're the person that wrote that to me, would you please cite a link where you read it? Or if any of you guys have read it somewhere, would you please cite a link below so we could all read it? I don't think that's the case, and I sure hope it's not the case. But if it is the case, we need to know about it. I'd like to talk now about lowball offers from eBay buyers or potential buyers. I've mentioned this in the past, and it seems to be a trend that's really, really increasing on eBay. I have all my items list fixed price, but I get quite a few people contacting me through eBay offering me less money. Now some people, even in the Facebook groups, get highly pissed off when they get a lowball offer. I do not at all. There are 3 type offers that you can receive. 3 type eBay buyers. I'm going to go over them right now, and you tell me, guys, if you have not experienced this yourself. Number 1 is the reasonable offer. Let's say you have an item listed for $100 with free shipping. A guy will contact you and say, I'm very interested in your offer. Do you think you could let me have it for $80 with the free shipping? If so, I will buy the item right now. Let me know. Thank you. That guy is a reasonable and serious eBay buyer, and 9 out of 10 times I will deal with that guy. I had one last night. I wrote back to him. I said, I will gladly accept your offer if you agree to buy the item right away. He said, yes, Joe, I will. And sure enough, he did. I love those kind of people. I have no problem with them at all. The second kind of lowball offer is the unreasonable guy, where you have an item listed for $100 and he'll offer you $35 with free shipping. But I found a way that seems to work pretty well with those guys too, where you still might make the sale. I'll say to them, I'm sorry, I cannot sell you the item for $35. It's more than I paid for it. I'm sorry, I paid more than that for it, is what I'll say to them. Plus, I have to pay eBay fees, PayPal fees, and the free shipping, so there's no way I can afford to do that. Why don't you see if you can get it locally? This way you can save on shipping. In other words, I'm acting like I don't want to sell to the guy, even though I really do. And most of the times he'll write back to me and up his offer. Where it was $35 at the beginning, now it goes up to $60. Okay? Once it hits $60, if it's a dog item, I might just take the $60. But if it's an item I think I can get more money for, I might say, I'll make you a deal. If you're willing to buy the item right now, today, I can let it go for $70 or something like that. And quite often, that guy will buy because he's cheap, but at least he's giving you an idea of where he's weighing in at, $35, and then you have to work with him from there. So I would say there's at least a 50% chance you can sell to that guy as well. But the type you can never sell to, and I found this out, guaranteed. I ask any of you guys to question me on this, is if a guy writes to you, you're asking $100 for the item, and he'll say, what is the lowest you will go? Keep in mind, he hasn't weighed in with a price. He hasn't said 50, he hasn't said 35, he hasn't said anything. What is the lowest you will go? What is the rock bottom you will sell this to me for? That is the person, in my opinion, that will never buy. Never. Okay? Even if you give him a crazy low price, like $35, he'll say something like, well, I'll think about it. In my opinion, when they say, what is your rock bottom price, how low will you go, and they don't mention any firm price, those are the guys that will never buy. But I'm interested in your feeling, guys, on those scenarios, if you agree with me or disagree with me. Regarding the global shipping program, I have one interesting and very positive experience to relate to you guys. During the week, I went on to my eBay, and I noticed up at the top there was a blue hyperlink that said, one case has been opened. And I'm thinking to myself, I have no open cases, nor have I gotten any contact from eBay either to my email or to my eBay messages. So I clicked on the link that said the case had been opened, and it took me to the resolution center, and it said eBay buyer John Smith, and I believe he was out of the country. I believe he was from the Netherlands, let's say. It said eBay buyer John Smith has contacted us to say he did not yet receive his item. It is too early to give you any details at this point. We will contact you in a few days. Now, I have never had that happen to me before. I did have a couple of times when people opened cases against me through the global shipping program, and eBay notified me right away, and I had to, click the respond button and show them that I uploaded the tracking, and eBay covered me both times, no problem. But this was different. So I investigated it, and it looked to me, I clicked on the tracking, and I could see that the item made it to Kentucky with no problem, and then went from Kentucky to this man's home country, but had not yet been delivered. I said, I think I know what's happening here. I think the man opened the case, eBay intercepted the case, saw that I did my part, saw that it made it to Kentucky, and didn't want to put me, the seller, through any unnecessary hassles. So they interceded for me, and they waited a day or two before they contacted me back, and they did contact me and said, Dear Joe, we have settled the case in your favor. We have released any hold that was placed on your funds, and we have given the buyer his full money back because he obviously did not receive the item. You will not be held at fault in any way for this transaction. So the point I want to make here, guys, is that when the man out of the country opened the case, I did not have to physically respond to it. eBay jumped in and they responded on my behalf because they could see that the tracking showed that my item made it to Kentucky, and that somewhere between Kentucky and the man's country of residence a problem had arisen. This is the first time this has ever happened, and I'm curious, has it happened to any of you guys? I give eBay a big 2 thumbs up for this. They are actually getting proactive, and they're helping us in the global shipping program. So, very well done. Good job, eBay. As far as last week, I was reading all your comments, and I love comments, guys. I love reading them. And even when you don't agree with something I'm saying or with something that one of the other speakers is saying, for instance, let's say something Gladys Ramos or John Lawson said, you are welcome and encouraged to state your case. For instance, if you have a comment about SEO and you don't like something that they said, you could say, well, I really don't think that I agree with John when he said blah, 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 because I have found in the past, and then you can state your case. Because guys, there have been times when people who have written in have changed my mind. The only thing I'm going to ask is you don't disrespect me or any of the other people that are commenting in my videos. I will absolutely not stand for it. Last week I actually had to do the unthinkable. I had to remove a comment. Do not trash me or do not trash any of the good people commenting. We are here to help each other, okay? All right? Please, no fitchy comments. All right? This is something that rarely ever happens on my channel. Everybody seems to get along with everybody, but last week, I think it had to do with the fact that the SEO just inundated people to such an extent. Like, for instance, everybody was so surprised that their eBay store keywords were so messed up. And hey, I was surprised too, guys. I'm still not 100% done fixing all mine. And this whole business with SEO in general, it's a bit intimidating. And I'll tell you that to your face. It intimidates me. Hey, something just sold on eBay and live here on the Crazy New York Driver Show. Let's see what it was. Okay. A sale's a sale. Glad to get it. You guys have witnessed the sale go through live on the Crazy New York Driver Show. And I hope your sales are good too. But anyway, let's go over a few points from this week's video, because I know I covered a bunch of things. Number one, we got 2 webinars coming up. Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, John Lawson and Gladys Ramos with an in-depth look at SEO and tips and tricks and all that. It's a pay-per-view event, I'm going to tell you right now. Link will be below. I'm not making the money on this deal, guys. I'm only spreading the word because I find it helpful and I think you will too. All right? The link will be below. If you want to join them, great. If not, I'll discuss the salient points next week. Another video will be sponsored by eBay themselves. That's not till Wednesday, May the 6th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So you've got a little time, but I suggest you register for that right now while you remember, and you put it on your calendar. Just go into that seller newsletter you received the other day, scroll down to the bottom right, and reserve yourself a spot. Well worth going for. I know there's going to be questions about SEO. I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm a newbie. I defer most of those questions to John Lawson and Gladys Ramos, 2 people who I know and 2 people who I trust. They sell on eBay. You can see their accounts. They're successful. They follow the rules. We talked about Lowball Offers and a few other things. And I guess that about covers it for now. Guys, I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thanks once again for coming here on a Friday night or whatever night you're watching this. Happy to have you. Comment anything you want below, but please don't hate on anybody. This is not a channel for hating. All right? All right. Now it's your turn. Go out there and make some eBay sales. Rock on, guys.